want for our children, our future, this is not Guam. We're better than this. I know you're probably tired of seeing illegal dumps like this popping up all around the island, and we are too. Let's all think green together. We have to start now. We have to start taking better care of our environment. And one way you can do this is by joining our annual Think Green Cleanup on Saturday, April 27th in Agana. Or we challenge you to host your own community cleanup and post your before and after pictures using the hashtag ThinkGreenGuam, and we'll feature it on KUAM. Also, if you see someone illegally dumping or an illegal dump, report it to your village mayor, or you can call Guam EPA. Their number is 300-4751 or 2. Come on, Guam, let's do it for our children, our future generations, before it's too late.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Coming up on Primetime, the island's governor says that she welcomes an audit of her transition fund. Plus, a store owner in Dedido is asking for the public's assistance after being robbed for the second time this year. And enough is enough. The island community is taking a stand against violence and criminal sexual conduct.
Hafa and good evening. Topping our news tonight, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says bring it on to an audit of her administration's transition fund. Chris Barnett has more.
The Leon Guerrero Tenorio transition team raising and spending over $666,000 in transition funds, with $250,000 of that money spent after the inauguration. A public auditor, BJ Cruz, tells KUAM News the law is very clear on how transition and inauguration funds can be used after inauguration bills are paid.
It's supposed to go back to the general fund.
Well, Governor spokeswoman Janela Carrera says as of April, there's only $700 left in the fund. The law also says the Trans Fund report is supposed to be turned into the legislature no later than 30 days after the swearing in. But here we are near the end of April, and that hasn't happened yet either. However, Leon Guerrero says her Trans Committee decisions were guided by the law.
You know, there's laws that are guiding it and mandating how it's supposed to be used, and we look to the law for guidance, and that's what we did.
The Maga Haga tells KUAM News, as a banker, audits are something she's very used to.
There's not one day in my life as a banker that there was no auditor in the bank. And so audits are very important.
Cruz, meanwhile, says according to his read of the law, the balance of the funds left after inauguration shouldn't be donated to charity or used to buy furniture, carpets, and do renovations.
People aren't aware of the statute and have violated it.
Cruz adds KUAM News' coverage of the Transition Fund shows this is a groundbreaking case that his office needs to look into. Meanwhile, the governor says her administration's use of transition funds will hold up to the scrutiny.
Our transition report, our financial report, is very much recorded to the details. You know, Tony Sanford was our finance person, and I'll tell you, Tony was very stringent. She was very in control and very much make sure everything is detailed, recorded, and so forth, because it's, you know, the people's money, contributions and sponsorship from private businesses, which we extremely appreciate, and we wouldn't have had a smooth transition without the support of our business community and also our public communities.
Tony Sanford, the Lou and Josh campaign treasurer, donated $9,000 to the Lou and Josh inauguration. Her company was cut a check for $8,656 on February 5th. The governor adds she has nothing to fear from an audit conducted by the public auditor who actively campaigned for Lou and Josh during the election.
I'm not afraid. I welcome audits.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Chief of Police nominee Captain Steve Ignacio has been not deemed fit from a mental health perspective to serve as chief of the Guam Police Department. A legally required psychological exam of Ignacio conducted by Para-Oceana Behavioral Health Services Dr. Andrea Leitheiser reads, based on Ignacio's clinical interview and standardized testing results, Mr. Stephen Ignacio is not deemed fit from a mental health perspective for consideration in the position of Guam Chief of Police. This document found in the Legislative Committee report filed by Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Jose Pito Turlahi. Dr. Vince Akimoto conducted a medical evaluation of Ignacio, and that evaluation reads, Ignacio has normal mental status and hemodynamic stability. Mr. Ignacio is medically cleared for duty and can continue work as Chief of the Guam Police. During his confirmation hearing last week, Ignacio received overwhelming positive testimony. Committee Chair on Public Safety, Senator Turlahi, even went so far as saying he will be the Chief of Police. The Guam Family Justice Center Alliance is taking a stand against all the violence and cases of criminal sexual conduct that have been reported recently, and they're hoping you'll join them to say enough.
Monique Baza is a survivor. Kidnapped and raped in 2012, she says her fight is not over, and the Paul Mofnis case is a reminder that more needs to be done.
He's a repeat offender himself, and that's what really upsets me is how does the parole board vet these parolees? What process, what system do they use to say, this person has met whatever requirements are needed? What kind of programs does DOC? I've never heard of any programs that DOC offers for repeat sexual offenders or anything like that. What kind of programs was Paul Mofnis enrolled in that the parole board said, yeah, you know what, he's good to go?
Mofnis, a level 1 sex offender, served about 18 years of his 27-year sentence for raping 4 teenagers. He was granted early parole in July 2018. His case, along with multiple other rape cases, mostly involving minors, has the Guam Family Justice Center Alliance mobilizing to take a stand in hopes of forcing government leaders to wake up.
We have to hold them accountable. It's never the right time. The right time should be all the time that public safety is a concern.
On Wednesday, April 24th, the group is hosting an island-wide standout. Organizer Karina Faring.
At 5 o'clock, we asked that everybody come out from anywhere onto the streets, onto a main road, and just 15 minutes of your time, we're going to raise our hands, and we'd like it if the word enough is on it, and we'll raise our hands and for 15 minutes in silence, and showing that all of us in the community need to take back our streets, take back our community, and do something about all the violence, and as well as just about everything in the book. There's just too much going on, and enough is enough.
We cannot expect change in the community if we don't work together as a community to demand change. And if we have to stand side by side with each other, and the only time we're going to get any attention is if we're big in numbers, then we have to do it, because it's the only way that people's voices are going to get heard.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
If you're participating in Wednesday's Standout, you're encouraged to post a picture on social media using hashtag enough. Robbed last Thursday night, it wouldn't mark the first time for employees at La Familia Market in Dededo. As Sabrina Salas Matanani reports, they believe it could be the same person and are urging the community to come forward if they have any information.
March Mangaliman was on duty as a security guard for La Familia Market last Thursday night when a man wearing a mask robbed he and store employees at gunpoint.
We were pretty much in the back, all about to close. One of our cashiers saw a guy running.
By the time Mangaliman looked to his right, the suspect was pointing a gun at him.
My gun was pretty much on my side, pointing down. I didn't have time to bring it up. By the time I bring it up, he would have shot me, so I already saw it was a real gun. And so what I did, I complied, but I tried to talk to him about it, try to get enough time for the other stalker to get the girls to safety, but not enough time, so I complied. I walk slowly. I keep looking back to try to look at his face. His eyes, I'll always remember his eyes though.
Eyes he described as intent on hurting whoever was in his way if he didn't get what he wanted.
His eyes, pissed off, ready to freaking shoot us if anything. But all he wanted was just the money, so we gave it to him.
This is the second time La Familia Market was hit. The first time was last month.
It was the same guy as before. He was dumb enough to come here the second time. Didn't get much of a payout, but never rob a freaking place twice.
Daniel Absaolo was working the morning of the first robbery.
I was terrified.
They had just opened the store when the suspect walked in with a gun.
First he told us to get on the floor, and he started opening all the tilts and getting all the money.
What happened here at La Familia Market follows a string of other armed robberies.
You don't want to hear about all the stuff happening in our community. I know that your store's been hit. There's a couple of other people that have been robbed just walking to work, and gas stations that have been robbed. What do you think is happening in our community?
I'd say it's drugs. That's the one thing that made me a common factor of it.
Only thing that people steal for is what? Drugs, food, or having a hard time. But if you're gonna steal just because you're having a hard time, you're pretty much, you shouldn't even be here. Try to get a job. That's all you really pretty much need. But of course, it's hard to get a job, but try. If you're gonna stoop down to stealing, then you're pretty much just a low life that society doesn't even freaking want or need.
If you have any information about the La Familia Market robbery or any crime, please call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-4357. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
Meanwhile, in response to rising criminal sexual conduct and armed robbery cases, Senator James Moylan introduced several bills that would increase the minimum sentencing requirements for those crimes. He also introduced legislation that would mandate that any sex offender being released on parole would be required to wear an electronic monitoring device. You can read these bills on the legislature's website. Senators observe Island Leadership Day by letting their student counterparts preside over a mock legislative session. Student Speaker Leon Guerrero spoke on his bill to require all public school students to learn financial basics to get ready for the cold, harsh reality that life can pose.
For many of us here, graduation is just around the corner. Soon, we will be entering the real world, where we will have to file taxes, apply for student and aid grants and loans, get a credit card, understand our credit scores, and budget our finances properly. Many of my classmates probably don't know what these things are or how to do any of it. Speaker, I want to stress that these are life skills that we all need. It's crucial that we require all students to take some sort of financial literacy course to prepare for the real world.
Several of his colleagues rose in strong support of the measure. Senator session resumes tomorrow with the adult senators taking back their seats. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. We'll continue in just a moment.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you.
80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O displays the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
Get your life back and learn how to live sharper, leaner, longer, and better in 30 days or less. On Guam for 4 nights only, open to the public with free admission, 12 years and older. Life-changing seminars with Dr. David DeRose with co-presenter Sonia DeRose. 4 nights, 4 different topics, and it's free. April 22nd through the 25th, 6 p.m. at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa. Space is limited. Seats are first come, first served basis.
How can you make McDonald's hot and deliciously juicy Quarter Pounder even more delicious? One word: bacon. The new fresh beef Quarter Pounder Bacon or Deluxe. 2 new ways to leave you speechless. Pair it with any size soft drink for just $1. What do you get when you add lettuce and tomato to McDonald's hot and deliciously juicy fresh beef Quarter Pounder? You get fresh on fresh on fresh. The new fresh beef Quarter Pounder Deluxe or Bacon. 2 new ways to leave you speechless. Pair it with any size soft drink for just $1.
Welcome back. The Guam Department of Education and Chief Hurrao Academy celebrate a milestone for Chamorro language learning. Starting next school year, kindergarten students can enroll at PC Lujan for classes taught only in Chamorro. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
Panazakin Sinipik, a FINA Chamorro immersion project, is the first of its kind at GDOE public schools.
Esta tasina tatsogi hafasina pomatogi para taprotehi I linguata, I culturata, I hinengeta. The estina pasin programa sempre man pasa papa gifamaguun and gifamaguun niya put I tordizisya I culturata.
Magahaga Lulian Guerrero was one of many government officials who welcomed the collaboration between GDOE and Chief Hurrao Academy. The project was approved by the Guam Education Board in 2016. Now, starting next school year, 2019 to 2020, 2 kindergarten classes at PC Lujan Elementary will teach social studies, language arts, mathematics, and science using only the Chamorro language. For Anne Marie Arcero, head of the Department of Chamorro Affairs, it's been a long time coming.
Mega sacrificia para tu guini na dia. Za look for no edita lugatu as sanat na pangi. Ma mifila pagu tordu I putiu and then estredas. Sa mabai na dinansi tori tauto legislatura. Dinansi magahaga, then magalai, magagiguini, dinansi igomelulu Education, dinansi tori manyana ni mangagi gwini pago si Diyos maasi.
Arcero says immersion works to perpetuate the language.
Today is the evidence of unification. We cannot do it when we're separate. Pamilako sa manataw-taw sa moro. Tisina matoto zangin timanhita. Zangin siga man adamakit put sa moro to fatsoto toroesti. This is evidential that we need to work together. We cannot break each other down. Nobody else will come save our language and culture. No other race will save it. And we have those even that are non-Chamorros here willing to save it with us.
Senators are also invested. Speaker Munya Barnes welcomes the immersion that she says may also secure federal funding.
Working with all the leaders to protect the Chamorro language, the Chamorro history, the Chamorro culture, that the National Science Foundation has committed to us. That if we include math and science in our teachings today, that they will continue to work with us and get resources that we so vitally need.
The Immersion Chamorro program at PC Lujan will run on a first-come, first-served basis, and more info for admissions is expected this summer. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlaki.
The deadline has passed for public officials to turn in financial disclosure statements to the Guam Election Commission. elected officials, directors, and board members. Also, anyone whose signature represents buying power for GovGuam mandated to turn in a financial disclosure statement. GEC Director Maria Pangilinan says those who did not make this deadline will be the subject of discussion.
Based on our list as of 5 p.m., what we will do is we'll forward a list to the Guam Election Commission board members. We will have a meeting at 5:30. They will get a copy of the list, and it will be them to decide.
According to the GEC, Bureau of Women's Affairs head Jane Flores, acting GPD Chief Steve Ignacio, Moleso Mayor Ernest Chargaloff, Hagatna Mayor John Cruz, and several others did not turn in disclosures. The GEC board will meet tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. The Small Business Administration announced this year's Guam SBA Champions Awards. The winners of the 29th Annual Small Business Persons of the Year are Archway Incorporated President Richard Chan and Vice President Mika Caldwell. They are the owners of the I Love Guam brand and the popular coffee business Infusion.
We didn't anticipate we'd be opening our 9th cafe 10 years after opening the first. We didn't anticipate hearing so many people tell us that they prefer Infusion over global coffee chains, and how proud they are that Infusion is a locally owned business.
In addition to our internal partnerships, I would also like to recognize the importance of business partnerships that are made in the community, such as landlords, bankers, vendors, customers, past and present employees, friends, and family. Without the support of many that we are thankful and proud to call friends, we could not be here today.
Other winners were Veteran Small Business Award to Guam National Guard Adjutant General Esther Agagi. The Women in Business Champion is Attorney Vanessa Williams. The Financial Services Champion is Bank of Guam Senior Vice President Josephine Mariano. And the Home-Based Business Champion of the Year is Cham Glam Botanica owner Ursula Herrera. Another town hall in the works for Guam delegate Michael San Nicolas. San Nicolas making comments on Instagram about meeting the needs of the Filipinos on Guam and in the Philippines.
Filipino community, we got to make sure that all of the support mechanisms are in place for us to be able to help out with the way the community has those unique needs with respect to our brothers and sisters back home in the PI. And so we definitely have our office available for any kind of visa concerns or immigration concerns that we can help address. We're also trying to make sure that we're creating opportunities for our Filipino people to be able to get more information.
San Nicolas adds plans in the works for the second town hall of his congressional term, the delegate touting what he says will be a historic first for the island.
We're going to be trying to coordinate a town hall. I think it's going to be the first ever town hall specifically for the Filipino community. And we're going to be working in collaboration with the Filipino community of Guam to get that stood up for the people.
San Nicolas's first town hall was held in conjunction with his office opening in March. Sports is next. Keep it right here.
Make every day a plus.
Looking for a great deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Then get to Cars Plus in Mighty now for our spring sales event. Like a new Jeep Compass Sport, $166 per paycheck. Or a new Chrysler Pacifica LX, $220 per paycheck. Or save $8,500 on a new Ram 1500. How about a new Jeep Wrangler Sport? Only $274 per paycheck. Low 1.99% financing is available on approved credit. Save thousands during our spring sales event going on now at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with some mixed martial arts news as Ricky Camp is looking to bring home a belt as he steps into the cage in Hawaii this weekend in a 135-pound matchup. Check it out. Guam's Ricky Camp is preparing to step into the cage for the X1 Bantamweight belt in Hawaii. Ricky will be fighting Rodney Mandala. Camp is 10-4 as a pro and is riding a 5-fight win streak. His opponent Mandala holds a 4-1 record.
As of right now, my weight is probably maybe 52, something around there. But before